But check this out. If you're on Facebook and YouTube, I got multiple cameras going on. It is pretty nifty. So look at get me with both, or you could get straight on. So fun. Hi everybody. Hi. I see a bunch of people coming on Insta. What's up, Instagram? If you don't know, I'm Becca Greenspan. I am the founder and CEO of RG Adoption Consulting. I'm getting all sorts of messages coming in. So what am I going to talk about today? First of all, if you have any questions at all about adoption at any point, just write it in the chat and I will answer them if I can. Otherwise, I'm just going to, hello, Papa. Michael, I'm so excited for you. You just became a dad, and our team is so thrilled. And I can't wait to see this little one. Hopefully, you attend our virtual play date, which we have every 2 months. We have a virtual play date with all of our families who adopted in those 2 months to kind of go over some last minute business, but also see each other's babies and hear each other's stories. And you can win prizes, and it's fun and it's educational and all of it. So, Michael, I hope you will join us for that. And speaking of Michael adopting, last week may have been a record for us. Did anybody see my live? How many my Instagram reel? My Instagram reel. Did anybody see it? How many adoptions did our families have last week? How many of our families adopted last week? Anybody want to take a guess? Good, Michael. I'm glad you'll be there. Any guesses? How many families of ours adopted just last week? I'm going to wait. See what you come up with. Any guesses? Any guesses? Let me go to a different view if you're on Facebook. Michael. You're wrong. It's higher. You want to guess again? How many of our families adopted last week? What do you think? Take a guess. No sound? What the? Hold on. No sound. But you heard my... Okay, hold on. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Now, Michael, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Let's see. Oh, I know. Hold on. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? If you are on Facebook, can you hear me? Okay, great. Oh, sweet. All right. So no, it wasn't 4. The question was how many of our families adopted last week? It was not 4. It was higher than 4. Next guess. Anyone? All right, I'm going to tell you 8 of our families adopted in 1 week. 8. That is crazy. That is crazy pants. Probably one of our biggest weeks ever. And if it wasn't our biggest week, it was probably tied for our biggest week because I can't remember ever having that. So that was quite an amazing week. 8 families adopted in 1 week. Crazy. We just had our Q3 wrap-up meeting. And hey, Kim. And while we set some pretty hefty goals for this year, and while we were a little bit under in Q3, yes, Kim, best week ever. While some of our goals were under, the one that mattered the most was up. And the goal that matters the most to us is how many of our families are adopting. Our goal for the entire year, our goal was to have 65 of our families adopt, which would have been a huge increase from last year. So it was pushing it. Thus far, no, not thus far, as of the end of Q3, 61 of our families had adopted, 4 under our goal. But then we had that week of 8 adoptions. So that puts us 4 above our goal, which is amazing. And we still have so much more of this year to go. So I'm really excited for our families, and I am so grateful for all the partnerships we have developed over this year. We have way more. We kind of look at where our adoptions are coming from. Where are our families adopting from? And for the first time in a long time, we're actually seeing a funnel. So there's certainly like 3 or 4 agencies that we're seeing the most placement from, and then a lot of 1s and 2s. The 1s and 2s are totally normal, and usually what we see all the way down. This year, we're seeing a little bit more of that funnel. So that's interesting. And we've also added to that list, right? So we're working with way more agencies and attorneys than we had been. And we've developed some really awesome new relationships this year, which we're really proud of. Kim says, crushing it, proud to be an alum. I love it, an alum. Got to DM you about a conversation I had with someone yesterday. Please do. I would love to hear it. Let's see. What else can I tell you? We have worked with our goal for new families I don't know if this is new families or not, but we had a goal of 170, working with 170 families. And so far we have worked with 106 through Q3. And just to give you an idea, even though we're under our goal, last year at this point, we worked with 90. So that we are very happy with that for sure. Let's see, what else can I tell you about RG's? So in Q3, we had 20 families adopt. Our goal was 17. Our inquiry calls are way down, but we're still getting a great amount of clients. We revamped our entire program with our clients. I do have to tell you that every bit of feedback that we get from every client, from people who watch, from people who are in our academy, we discuss that as a group. And if it makes sense to what we are trying to do for our families on a whole, we will certainly revamp our program to accommodate that feedback. However, there's always going to be people that you just cannot please no matter what. There's no way that any company can please 100% of their clients and their families, the people they work with. And that goes with us too. There's always going to be people that will not be happy no matter what we do, even though we will bend over backwards to try to accommodate. Sometimes it's just best for both parties to just part ways at a certain point, money lost or not. And that goes with an agency too. If you are working with an agency, they're not going to give you your money back, but you just don't like working with them and things don't feel right. Sometimes just parting ways, even if you'll lose money, is the best thing to do. Or tell them, you're only open to a stork drop, a baby born situation, whatever the case may be, but follow that gut. And also, we talked a little bit about this last week. Check in with yourself too. Are you being reasonable and realistic? And are they as well? So checking in with yourself is always a great thing. The amount of there's always more boys than girls for some reason. Now my team thinks it's harder to place girls than boys, but I was asking an agency about that recently, and I'm not. They didn't agree with that, so who knows? Let's see. I'm looking. If you're just joining us, I'm looking at our stats from the end of Q3 and year to date as of the end of Q3. We just had every quarter we have a kind of a quarterly meeting to look at how we're doing against our goals and just to see what's going on in the industry. Here's another thing. So we've had a wait list for single women for a long time. And I know that there's some women who keep checking in with us every month, even though we said it's not going to be until at least November that we start taking more single women. And some people say, but you guys are doing so well. Why? And we are doing so well. And most of our placements are not going to single women right now. So we want to make sure. Now, last month we had a ton, but we want to make sure that with the women that we are working with, and I think we're working with about, let's see, 21, 22, 23, 24, about 25 single women right now. And we want to make sure that they are getting matched and having placements before we start bringing on more and more single women, because lately it's been a lot harder for single women. So in the third quarter, 85% of our placements were heterosexual couples. 10% were single women, and then a smaller percent were same sex in Q3. Now that changes all the time. We had 12 boys placed in Q3 and 9 girls. Again, just Q3. Race. You might be interested in race, what we've seen with the race of the babies. So and it's a little bit different than last year. Not that I don't know that there's any rhyme or reason to that. Maybe at the end of the year we can compare, but just for fun. In Q3, 62% of the babies adopted were white, full white, 20% Hispanic, 14% Caucasian mix. So most likely, most of those were black, white, but could be white Hispanic as well. And 4% African American. So 62% white, 20% Hispanic, which surprises me that that's that high, actually. 14% biracial and 4% African American. We always have a little bit of a competition to see which consultants' families are adopting the most. And this quarter, it was all neck and neck. It was completely neck and neck. Rachel and Carly had the most by 1. So that was fun. Remember, I was telling you we're seeing a funnel effect. So we did 7 the most adoptions we have had with one agency was 7. And then it goes 5, 4, 3, 2s, and the most common is doing 1 adoption here, 1 adoption there. This is interesting too. And Kim asked, have you guys noticed any trends in states that have anti-abortion laws in place with babies born? Not yet. We've been getting that question a lot yet, and I think it's still too early. I think we'll be able to answer that question more probably mid-2023 is my guess. But maybe we'll start to see it, because it's not going to happen immediately, right? It's, the birth rates are way down anyways. So it'll be interesting to see, number one, with everybody getting out and about more, if people are placing more, if those rates go up. And then the abortion question will maybe come into play as well. Here's an interesting stat for Q3. How long are our families waiting? So in Q3, we still had the majority of our families adopting within a year, a big majority. My contact is killing me. So we had, I think, a couple who adopted within 1 to 3 months, about 5 who adopted between 4 to 6 months, 1 who adopted 7 to 9 months, and about 7 who adopted 10 to 12 months. And then we had 5 who adopted after waiting for more than a year. We just do over a year. So a good majority adopted in within a year. So that's still great. People are starting to wait a little longer. I knew I was going to see that trend go up by the end of this year, so it'll be interesting to see where that lands as compared to the previous years, and what's going to happen in the coming years. Fall through rates have been way up this year. Last year I think they started to go way up last year mid-year. This quarter, they have come down significantly, the fall through rate. So I'm not going to share that with you quite yet. We'll see where we end up at the end of the year. But I will tell you, Q3 last year was like a 43% fall through rate just in that one quarter. 40% with financial loss. So the 43% is in total. Some didn't lose money, but with financial loss, 40%. It has definitely gone way down. And with financial loss, we're in the 20s again. So that has gone down significantly. Another interesting trend that we have seen, or another interesting statistics that we've seen, is the time between match and the due date. So 5 people took placement with a match less than 1 month. 1 to 2 months, 2 to 3 months. We had 3 people at 3 to 4 months and 1 person at 4 to 5 months. So this quarter, people did not wait more than 5 months from time of match. We're not really seeing any trends with fall throughs with certain agencies over others. It's really across the board. Most of our families are white. Surprise, surprise. But about, let's see, 15, 20, probably about 22, 23% of our families are either biracial or Black, which is great. We'd love to see that be even higher. And we have about 22% single and 77, 78% married. So that's just some of the stats that we went over this year. I hope you have found them interesting or a little bit of insight. One thing that I also said, I announced at the beginning that we had 8 adoptions in 1 week. I recently just did an Instagram reel. Go check that out and give it a like if you think I, made a fool of myself or if it was entertaining in some way. So go check that out. But 2 of the other, I did a whole truth bombs, 3 truth. Oh my God, try saying that 3 times. Truth bombs, truth bomb, truth bomb, truth bomb. That's a hard one. And the truth bombs that I gave were, I'm having fun with these cameras on Facebook and YouTube. Second is you are going to learn a lot more than you probably know right now about adoption and that you didn't even know you didn't know, because education is such a big part of what we do. And the third truth bomb was that we had 8 adoptions in 1 week. I guess I would put in one more fact, and that is that my hair is blue and purple like a unicorn. I have unicorn hair. Love it. Oh, and my nails. I didn't show you them last time because I skipped a week. My nails match my hair. Oh, that view has no sound. Yes, interesting. Okay, good to know. Thank you. I'm getting more tech savvy, but I still have some work to do. You guys have a wonderful weekend. In Cleveland, Ohio, it's going to be a beautiful fall weekend. My whole yard is covered in pine leaves, but I'll take it. Enjoy your weekend. If you're still on your path, please don't lose hope. Things are happening out there. Don't compare yourself to others. Everybody has their own journey that they're walking down, and you really cannot compare We talked a lot about that in our weekly email today that went out. If you are on that list, go ahead and read that. And that's what I've got today. Arizona is 90. And Maryland from sunny Florida. You're welcome, Maryland. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. And as always, if you have any questions about adoption, pre or post, ask me here. I will always come back and answer, or I'll answer them next time. And if you veer off your roadmap to adoption, that's okay. You can come right back on and continue your journey. Bye, guys. Have a great weekend.